Hey everybody, Jonathan Scott. Welcome to Insomniac Television, the show that asks the musical question, who put the bop in the bop shabop? Who put the sham in the shamalama ding dong? Well, we haven't had the answer to that question yet, but I've done a little research and I know it was actually Jerry Goffin that wrote that song. And it was a great song. Tonight's show is going to be all about fantasy and dreams. What are your fantasies? What are your dreams? I'm going to start with a little story. A bunch of years back, I was in Beverly Hills and I went to an Academy Awards party with my dear friend Carol Connors, who wrote the theme to Rocky, Gonna Fly Now with Bill Conti. And we're at this party, and I don't know if you guys remember, there was a show called Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire on regular network TV. And the show, this woman actually married a guy on TV, and she happened to be at this dinner party. Her name was Darva Conger. And my friend Carol in Beverly Hills can turn it on and be as affected, and all of a sudden she turns into Zsa Zsa Gabor. And she says to this woman, Darva Conger, "Oh, Darva, darling, I'd like to introduce you to my dear friend Jonathan from Chicago, who's got a cigar magazine. Would you mind holding the cigar for a picture for Jonathan?" And Darva Conger, who married a guy on television, has a handler named Larry. And Larry, the handler, says he didn't think it would be good for her image. I said, she'll marry a guy on TV, but she won't hold a cigar? Okay, so we let it go. I was with my dear friend from Chicago, a photographer named John Marciniak, no longer with us. John and I finished that party. We go down the hill to a bar called Barfly that was taken from Charles Bukowski, a great writer, and who happens to be there but Darva Conger's at this party as well. And so I go up to her again and get another second chance. Darva, would you hold a cigar? Take a picture for Cigar Smoker magazine? No, it wouldn't be good for... Okay, great. Marciniak looks across the room and he sees that there's a woman there named Leanza Cornett, who was a former Miss America. And we go over and ask if we could take a picture with her. And then it dawns on me that Leanza Cornett actually hosted Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with comedian Jay Moore. And I tell her what happens with the cigar story. But I start by saying to her, you know, Miss America, I've never met a Miss America before, so you know what my sexual fantasy is. What's yours? And she laughed and thought that was funny and showed me that she had a Miss America crown on her tattooed on her ankle. So I tell her what happens with Darva Conger. I said, you hosted the show. What do you think of Darva Conger? And without missing a beat, she looks at me. She says, she's a Now that's not going to make it on NBC, but that's how I'm going to start the show, to talk about fantasies